UEFA Champions League quarterfinal play in the spring, eliminating the eventual La Liga champion Barcelona. 35-year-old Daniele De Rossi leads his side onto the field versus Barcelona, the Spanish powerhouse, which won a domestic double for the 8th time in its history, capturing the league and Copa del Rey. It's the International Champions Cup presented by Heineken. First kick from Arlington, Texas is next. Welcome back to the International Champions Cup presented by Heineken. Alongside Kate Margraf, I'm Steve Cangelosi. AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, where FC Barcelona and AS Roma continue this International Champions Cup. The last game for each of these clubs in the ICC was played against Tottenham. Roma was defeated by Spurs 4-1 6 nights ago at San Diego. Barcelona Saturday won on penalties in a game that was 2-2 after regulation. And Kate, these are the two sides that produced really the most memorable tie in European play last year. Here's the starting 11 put out by Ernesto Valverde for FC Barcelona.
Right, much of the build-up leading up to this game is about number 26 Malcom, the signing that everyone thought was going to Roma at the last second decided to go for Barcelona. He's going to look to play with his experienced players around him to get used to the Barcelona system.
Jasper Cillesen is the goalkeeper once again. Marc-Andre ter Stegen has joined the team on this U.S. tour, but not starting tonight. Eusebio Di Francesco with this starting 11, including some familiar names.
Yeah, well, Olsen, the Swedish goalkeeper, is back with some international experience from the World Cup. And then up top with Rinzeko, but Kluivert, the new signing, is getting a start for Roma. Look at him on the dribble.
Set to go between Roma and Barcelona. Roma in the familiar red kit and Barcelona in yellow tonight. Roma rallied, of course, from that 4-1 deficit by winning the second leg at Rome's Stadio Olimpico last year. Ultimately would be defeated in the semifinals against Liverpool. And fans in Texas watch the International Champions Cup continue between these sides. Sergio Roberto in the midfield plays this back, and this is Clement Lenglet, the French defender, one of the new additions to this Barcelona side, which begins play in the Spanish Primera as the defending champions. Lenglet using the width of the field to the far side, and Barcelona into the attacking area for the first time. The attempted finish goes wide of goal. Munier as it took a deflection, and Malcom contributing in the early going.
Well, actually, you see the contribution that Lenglet can do from distance. We saw this many times in that Tottenham game, his ability to ping a ball 50, 60 yards, change a point ball straight to their new signing Malcom, who's able to connect in the box.
Ernesto Valverde, the 54-year-old successor to Luis Enrique in May of 2017. 2 trophies to show for his work last year. Arthur, who had a splendid outing for Barcelona versus Tottenham just days ago. It wasn't just the wonder goal, Kate. It was his work rate, I thought, all day.
Yeah, he was really leading that midfield line on the defensive press and cutting off passing channels. He was eager to show his quality on both sides of the ball.
Malcom. Nelson Semedo getting the start once again. The right back wearing number 2 for Barcelona. Arthur. Alex Vidal. Played out wide, and Malcom awaits. One of the new additions to this Barcelona side. And this has been a bone of contention for many of the Roma players and the Roma supporters throughout the world. Malcom was believed to be destined for the Italian side. That never materialized, and here he is playing against Roma tonight.
You want to have some laughs? Go look at the AS Roma English website and Twitter feed. It's hilarious, all the Malcom references. All fun and jest.
Cucurella lays this ball off. Rafinha sees this cleaned up by Roma and sent away. Throw in for Barcelona and Vidal. Roberto chased in the midfield by Lorenzo Pellegrini. And Barcelona into the attack once again. This is Vidal. For now, he continues to wear a Barcelona shirt. Rumored to be rejoining Sevilla, his former club, before the season begins. And a crack there is taken by Meunier, and the save is made by Robin Olsen. Eusebio Di Francesco is the 48-year-old manager of Roma. 4 years a midfielder at Roma. He was part of the last Roma team to win the Scudetto back in 2001. Pellegrini commits a foul and a Roma free kick. Welcome those of you who have joined us now on ESPN2 as the International Champions Cup continues at Arlington, Texas. Barcelona and Roma tonight. Alongside Kate Margraf, I'm Steve Cangelosi. Arthur, who scored in his last time out for Barcelona. Marlon Santos, the Brazilian, starting again at center back. This was the pairing we saw the last time versus Spurs. Cucurella, and played back again to the Frenchman Langley. AT&T Stadium hosting this International Champions Cup for the first time. Last time the tournament stopped in Dallas was back in 2014. Francesco Totti was still part of the Roma side and scored to deliver a victory over Real Madrid that night. Alessandro Florenzi for Roma. First bencher into the attacking third. Justin Kluivert. Wished he had that one back. The son of the legendary Patrick Kluivert gets a starting role tonight.
Yeah, he definitely likes to do that. He likes to start on one side and get it onto his preferred left foot. He has a low center of gravity, so he's excellent on the dribble, just elegantly can dodge tackles, and is looking to build his game by joining Roma. 19-year-old Dutch international. The story goes that Patrick Kluivert discouraged him from joining an English Premier League side at this stage of his career. He's only 19. It's all in front of him right now, Kate. Well, it's different. Every single league has its characteristics. And in the EPL, it's a little bit more direct, but it's a very physically demanding as well as combative league compared to Serie A and La Liga.
Taken back by Roma. De Rossi wants Pellegrini. The intercept, and Barcelona ahead. Laid off by Malcom. Meunier, and a 1-0 lead for Barcelona. It is Rafinha. The Brazilian has given Barcelona the lead less than 6 minutes into the match. The reigning La Liga champions are off and running tonight.
Just look at this interplay. It all comes from a good press and off to the races. Heads up, a nice little dip ball, pass back. And most players will shoot from that distance, but a little give and go. And Rafinha, off of Munir, the center forward, with everyone in that front three, interchanging and interpassing. Roma too late to challenge to anything. Lots of ball watching and no one actually putting pressure on the person on the ball.
Played back by Roma. Robin Olsen, the goalkeeper tonight for Roma. Marlon Santos, and possession here for Roma. You're watching the International Champions Cup presented by Heineken. One of 3 games on the slate this evening. Many of you watched Manchester United defeat Real Madrid earlier this evening by the score of 2-1. Sergio Roberto. This is Semedo. One of the final cuts to the 2018 World Cup squad by Portugal. Jasper Cillessen, the Dutchman, plays it away. Tracking back into the Roma area. Kostas Manolas, the Greek defender, gets only so far as this ball is deflected out of play. Giallorossi, Roma trying to follow a splendid season in which it finished third in the Serie A table. Taken back here by Barcelona and Munier. This is Arthur at the edge of the 18. Sergei Roberto. Malcom takes this into the 18, continues on, and a save made by Olsen. Nearly doubling the lead is one of the new additions for Barcelona.
Look how quick he is off his movements. He gives the ball and he gets it right back, which is an incredible quick release. Olsen did well to cut down the distance, limit the angle that Malcom had open to him.
$37 million transfer from Bordeaux is this man, Malcom.
Just look at that turn, how quick that is. Strong hands by Olsen. Had he stayed on his line, Malcom would have had more of the goal to shoot at. It was well done by him to read the situation his defenders would be. It's interesting, they changed their back line a little bit, Roma, because three of Jesus, Manolas, and Fazio, they could not keep up with the pace. So they changed things out, give some new players a chance to play together to see if they could handle the speed and the interplay of Barcelona. Right now, it hasn't been working out that well for him.
Manolas, the Greek defender, one with strong words for Malcom as we watch Barcelona. Cucurella. And the whistle blows. Flag goes up as Barcelona was into the attack. Some strong words from Manolas, as I alluded to. He said of Malcom upon his arrival in Barcelona, he met the media earlier today and said, prior to his signing, I had no idea who he is. The signing and the snub of Roma still stings for many on the Italian side. The 10-minute mark, Manolas, the defender, wearing 44 to play this back for Olsen.
And he'll know his name now after this game. Already just making an impact in his movement on the flanks, pulling defenders apart from one another horizontally with his wide positioning.
Florenzi to latch onto this. Back heel, it's a good ball. Played across Edin Dzeko and deflected away. Throw in for Roma and Florenzi. Pellegrini cleared by Semedo. Manolas under pressure to play this back. Olsen, the 28-year-old goalkeeper, starting goalkeeper for Sweden at the World Cup in Russia. Teams waiting still on many of the prominent names that competed in that tournament. Many of the familiar stars with Barcelona only today getting their preseason training underway. The likes of Lionel Messi, Gerard Piqué, Sergio Busquets, Jordi Alba all had their first session today, not on U.S. soil, but back at Barcelona. Dzeko holds off Semedo on the volley. That's Florenzi who put it wide of goal.
Look at what happens when Dzeko is involved. The point person up top, able to hold the ball, and even when he draws himself wide, he has that big frame. He's nimble in tight spaces despite being so large and able to make an impact on the attack.
It's Marlon for Barcelona. Roma reached the UEFA Champions League semifinals for the first time in 34 years. Can they close the gap, though, on the Italian football top two from a year ago, having finished 18 points back of Juventus and 14 behind the league runners-up Napoli?
I don't think so, but I think they can still try to stay within that top four.
Defending champions in Serie A have made the so-called signing of the century as well, with the addition of Cristiano Ronaldo. Arthur to Rafinha and Semedo. Roberto. 13 of the players on the roster for Barcelona representing Barcelona B squad primarily. Fact-finding mission for the manager Ernesto Valverde in this tour of the United States as Arthur plays this back. Once the full squad comes, it'll be interesting to see what role is defined for Arthur. Clearly the talent is there, and he was able to open his account the other day as this ball is played over the top. A push on Munier by Manolas, and a foul is called.
This is a smart play by Manolas. Bringing down Munier, stopping the attacking momentum. No intention to play the ball. Arthur did equip himself well for Barcelona with the likes of Rakitic and all the other quality that they have in midfield. It's good to not only give those starters a little bit of a push, but it can help complement and add depth in the midfield, because remember, they've lost Iniesta. They've lost quality players that they need to replace.
Rakitic might be late getting started as well. Played for a side that competed in the World Cup final only 16 days ago, Kate. Each one of these teams opened their respective league campaigns on the same weekend, August 18th and 19th, but it's Barcelona that might be doing some more catching up.
Well, absolutely. They had 14 players involved in the World Cup and from 9 different countries. But having such quality in your B squad allows time for those players to build into fitness. And you'll see that impact towards the later stages of the season when that accumulated fatigue will cause injuries for those players that don't rest adequately after the World Cup.
Cucurella. Ball intended for Vidal, and there's Manolas again in the eye of the Barcelona storm. Arthur. Semedo. Ivan Marcano to the midfield stripe. A withdrawn Dzeko sees it taken away. This is Semedo. Rafinha with the goal for Barcelona to give the reigning Spanish champions the early lead at Arlington, Texas. Taken away, Vidal. Malcom. Semedo on the far side. Ex-Benfica man at the edge of the 18. Off the left foot, and it's fired just wide of goal. It's sent Olsen diving to his right, and dodging a bullet is Roma. This was nearly a 2-0 game.
Just like in that first game against Tottenham, that right side is creating all the chances. Again, Rafinha finding himself in a good spot, the top of the D. No one from that Roma midfield able to collapse into that space, close up that gap, and put adequate pressure on him. The ball's just moving too fast for them to adjust.
Rafinha has been the danger man and forces the foul once again as Barcelona advances forward. Another look. Pellegrini with the foul. This is Arthur. Cucurella. Long line. Cucurella chased by Kluivert. Quickly played to the foot of Vidal. Now Arthur. Dzeko. Won it back for Roma. Can they hit on the counter? This is Kluivert. Tries to find an extra gear. Longley is the defender who does well. Deflected off Semedo and taken back. De Rossi, the 35-year-old, the captain, the post-Totti era for Roma. Sees Florenzi. Florenzi floats this into the 18. That's a touch too far for Stephan Shaarawy, whose name we had not called until that point.
Yeah, he's taken a much more defensive stance. Kluivert isn't really known on the right-hand side for his defensive ability. That's something he'll need to work on if he wants to get a lot of playing time with Roma as they press on both sides of the ball and find success in that higher press.
No one doubts the offensive side of it, do they? He arrived at Roma having scored 10 goals in 30 Eredivisie matches at Ajax last season. This is Semedo for Barcelona. Closed down. This will force the first corner of the game. It'll be Malcom to the far side. Approaching the 20th minute. Malcom, the corner. Curls this ball in. That's headed away. De Rossi. Semedo. Played back for Cucurella. Barcelona side that we told everyone at the very top, Kate, won the double. Spanish Primera plus Copa del Rey, but when your biggest rival walks away with the ultra prize, the European Championship once again, leaves a sour taste at the end of the year, the big picture, doesn't it?
It does.
Third straight European Championship for Real Madrid. Pellegrini for Roma. Taken away. Arthur, dispossessing Roma, continues on. This is Malcom. Malcom tries to cut to the middle. Kevin Strootman disrupts him, and the foul is called against Barcelona. Malcom signed a 5-year deal with this Barcelona side as it began its U.S. tour. Announcement was made in Portland. Stories of Roma considering legal action to fight the acquisition, but here he is representing Barcelona tonight. Ball takes a deflection in the middle of the park. Taken down. Munier. Now Arthur. Sergio Roberto. Semedo. Down the right channel, Rafinha. Man with the goal tonight for Barcelona lays this off. This is Semedo, takes it into the 18. Arthur. Roberto. Barcelona with its yeoman share of possession to this point in the game. Rafinha. Welcome those of you who've just joined us on ESPN. International Champions Cup presented by Heineken. You're watching AS Roma and Barcelona. Those of you looking for baseball tonight can now find that and make the switch to ESPN2. Vidal. Munier. Ball went over the line. Will come back the other way for a goal kick. Check that, the flag goes up on the far side. What you've missed here, Rafinha with the opening goal for Barcelona early in the game as we get a look at Eusebio Di Francesco. Roma manager whose dream of Champions League glory realistically ended with that 5-2 first leg defeat to Liverpool at Anfield. Marlon back to defend. Taking a touch. Dzeko, shot by Kluivert, takes a deflection and cleared away. Cucurella. Florenzi seeks to save possession for Roma. Pellegrini wins it from Arthur. Justin Kluivert. His service to the far post, but reaching up is Jasper Cillessen. Vidal. Pass for Rafinha, off the mark and taken back by the Italian side. This is Strootman. De Rossi works this back, and this is Florenzi. Takes a deflection for a Roma throw-in. Ernesto Valverde. Bar is set pretty high all the time at Barcelona. Projection for La Liga, considering Ronaldo no longer with Real Madrid. Kate?
Well, I think Barcelona has no ceiling. It's all what they want to do. I don't think they don't look to other teams, especially now. Without Ronaldo, they're looking to be their best selves. I just want to know, how are they going to complement all the stars that they have, bring around the young players, and build that next generation while the stars are still...
Played across it. Dzeko closed down by the defender Longley. One of the more dangerous moments of the match as Roma threatens to level.
Look at this nice little through ball in behind the back line. Dzeko with those long legs, but good defending by Longley. Knew when to go down. The new signing, the French player. We've seen a lot of him on the offensive side, setting play from the back line, very comfortable coming out with the ball in the dribble, as well as pinging change of point service. There we got to see his defensive capabilities, knowing exactly when to go to ground and not give up a foul.
Champions League quarterfinalist himself last year, as we watch Dzeko try to shake loose of one defender, and Cillessen there to take charge. You mentioned Cristiano Ronaldo, now with Juventus. A reminder, tomorrow it's the MLS All-Star Game presented by Target. The All-Stars take on Italian champion Juventus tomorrow, 7:30 on ESPN and ESPN app in Atlanta. Ronaldo not featuring for Juventus against the MLS All-Stars. Should be a spectacular show, nevertheless, in what is clearly the new hotbed of American soccer.
That's a great venue, isn't it? Gets so excited. That Seattle, Portland.
Doesn't hurt when the team is as formidable as Atlanta United has proven to be, and this just its second season sitting at the top of the Eastern Conference.
And Carlos Bocanegra, the GM, has done a wonderful job securing talent. And this is where Roma's getting caught. Their midfield playing too slow, trying to turn. They just don't have the capabilities on the ball you see Barcelona does to handle pressure and break.
Rafinha. Arthur. Rafinha went flying to the ground. And a foul, and our first yellow card of the match as well is issued. Lorenzo Pellegrini is cautioned.
This is the most physically intense game that I've seen. Look at that. That is definitely a card, if not red card, from behind. No chance of getting the ball. And you wonder if it's that Malcom signing is the reason why there's so much anger towards one another. But in all the ICC games that we've done or seen, when have you seen challenges so far that you've seen of Roma being laid out? Whether it's Manola, or just right there. That's a vicious tackle at preseason. It seems like everyone's giving themselves a little bit of grace between each other. No one wants to get hurt before season starts.
I suppose if you're Roma, if you're going to play to really win one, this might be the one that they've circled on this tour, with Malcom part of this Barcelona squad. 28th minute of a 1-0 game in favor of Barcelona. Glad you've joined us on ESPN for this 2018 International Champions Cup presented by Heineken. Free kick for Barcelona. Vidal, one of the options here.
I like it to be Arthur. About 5 yards closer, we saw his ability to strike it.
Robin Olsen, the keeper, was signed 5 days after the departure of Alisson. A much heralded transfer to Liverpool. It will be Vidal who puts this into no man's land. Missed opportunity for Barcelona. You're watching the International Champions Cup presented by Heineken. Open your world and enjoy responsibly. Move by Alisson, including incentives, could be worth as much as $84 million, a world record for a goalkeeper. Frame of reference, Kate. Roma moved Mohamed Salah to Liverpool 13 months ago for an initial fee of $42 million. There are some offers that are simply too good to refuse, I would imagine.
Well, especially if you saw what happened to Liverpool in the Champions League with their goalkeeper, Karius, letting them down. As they're slowly getting all the pieces together, as Liverpool's going to try to make a challenge, not only win Champions League, but to finish in the top of the league, they need a goalkeeper who can instill confidence, command the box, build out of the back, and that's exactly what they purchase. You can't put a price sometimes on confidence that a goalkeeper can give a back line.
As we watch Malcom for Barcelona. Vidal. 30th minute of a 1-0 game in favor of the Spanish champions. Controlled by Sergio Roberto. Cucurella. Again, Arthur. Marlon works this across. That fee for Alisson eclipsing the $62 million that Juventus paid Parma 17 years ago for a keeper named Gigi Buffon. Cucurella able to work this across. Semedo, and now Roberto. Barcelona B squad showed its mettle in that victory over Tottenham just days ago. They controlled the match for the most part against Spurs. Arthur. Marlon Santos to Lenglet. Malcom. Rafinha. Barcelona looks comfortable as we get deeper into this half, Kate.
Watch the movement of number 22, Vidal. Now he's all the way now on the right-hand side. He started on the left. He is pulling the back line of Roma further and further towards its own goal, opening up bigger pockets of space for Rafinha to work in. Roberto and Arthur, they can sit on the half turn and decide when and where they want to go. And it's all because of that mobility of their wingers up top.
The Brazilian Rafinha. Munier. Rafinha turns towards goal. Tried to sprint Malcom and broken up by AS Roma. Reminder, tomorrow it's more International Champions Cup presented by Heineken. Arsenal versus Chelsea at 3 Eastern on ESPN2. Benfica Lyon on ESPN News at 4 Eastern time. This is too far for Edin Dzeko. All of the games available on the ESPN app.
You can see Rafinha in the Good tackle challenge there by Marcano. Stepping off that back line as no one in that midfield has been able to shut down the free play that Barcelona has had. Cucurella's coming up, Seneto's coming up, and it's allowing that midfield to take an even higher stance.
Dzeko tumbling to the ground. Barcelona trying to hit for its second of the game. Munier from long range into the waiting arms of the goalkeeper Olsen. Pellegrini.
I love that. Seneto went up, right back, right? He's the wing back on the right-hand side. He's in joining the attack. He tries to put the initial pressure. AS Roma does a good job building out of it, but guess who's taking his spot on the right-hand side, covering that gap that was exposed? That was Rafinha, willing to do the defensive work. When you play for Barcelona, there are no passengers. You have to play on both sides of the ball.
We watch Kluivert for Roma. Able to play this across, and the sweet finish in front to tie the match. It is Shaarawy to level the game at 1. They call him the Pharaoh, and we are tied at Arlington, Texas.
Well, on the transition, Kluivert is able to get down to the end line and get it across to Shaarawy, not picked up, sitting in the gap between Seneto and Santos. Look at that, look how quick he is on the half turn. Poor man marking in the box. Silson had no chance in goal. And Kluivert, mostly asked to do a defensive role this entire first half. Had one opportunity earlier that he shanked when he tried to strike it, when he went in for his left foot. That one we got to see his quality, now going end line and setting up somebody else.
What does that do for the confidence of the teenager Justin Kluivert, who sets this up? Scored a hat-trick back in November, something his dad never did in the Dutch league. Had his first cap for the Netherlands back in March and sets up the tying goal here. Cucurella for Barcelona. And now Longley. Semedo does well. Continuing on. Malcom for Barcelona to Cucurella. This is Vidal. Tackled by Florenzi, and Barcelona staying with this. Malcom, but a foul is called. Tempers flare, and there is Manolas in the middle of it all.
Manolas has already been called twice for fouls, getting pulled out of that center back position to help cover Vidal and others. And Kluivert comes in going for the ball. And just the wingspan and the arms around him, Malcom.
Yellow card for Kostas Manolas. Greek defender who was outstanding opening eyes at the 2014 World Cup.
Just an old-fashioned center back, trying to make a little bit of impression on the others.
Two Roma players cautioned in the opening 37 minutes of the game. Go back to the very memorable night at Stadio Olimpico when Roma rallied from 4-1 in the aggregate, winning the second leg 3-0 to advance to the semifinals. You remember the storyline. It was Edin Dzeko who opened the scoring early. De Rossi converted a penalty, and it was Manolas with the goal in the 82nd minute that wound up putting them through to the semifinal round. Florenzi to Kluivert. De Rossi Will the flag stay down? Shaarawy couldn't get much on it. Flag up on the near side on Roma. Roma's taken some of the match back here since the opening 20 minutes, haven't they?
Well, every time they sit back a little bit and are able to win it in the midfield, they're quickly transitioning, becoming a counterattacking side. And they're slowly growing into the game.
Strootman. Shaarawy takes this into the 18. Marlon defending it. Dzeko puts it way over the bar. The Bosnian, now 32 years of age, in his 4th season with Roma. Rafinha. Played in. Longley to work this back for Jasper Cillessen. Coming up in the Ally halftime report, MLS All-Stars getting set for the big night tomorrow in Atlanta versus Juventus. Our crew in Atlanta will have a preview and highlights from the International Champions Cup. Action earlier tonight. Tottenham with a victory over Milan. Manchester United 2-1 over Madrid. Manolas there to deny Munier. Semedo for Marlon. Rafinha opened the scoring for Barcelona. Answering back, Shaarawy for a Roma side tonight. This is Rafinha. Roberto. Arthur. Roberto gets it back from Vidal. Now Cucurella. Closed down by Florenzi. The ball deflected away. Sergio Roberto for Barcelona. Back by Manolas to Robin Olsen. Big shoes to fill for the Roma keeper that does emerge. They were active in their pursuit of goalkeepers before and after the big news concerning Alisson's move to Liverpool. Mirante in the mix as well. We saw him the last time around for Roma in this International Champions Cup. Kluivert, top of the 18. Kluivert tries to pull it back on the right foot. Closed down. Cucurella did well to stop his progress. Barcelona back the other way. Vidal. And Munier slows the pace. Here's Arthur. Vidal for Rafinha. Rafinha continues on, tried to lay this ball off of Munier and cleared away by Roma. Another Barcelona throw-in. Been some time since Barcelona performed in Texas. Played in Dallas in 2011 versus Club America, 1-2-0. One of the goal scorers that night, present-day New York City striker David Villa. Marlon on the ball here. Vidal. Advantage rule. Barcelona continues on. Cucurella for Rafinha. Gives here. Sergio Roberto gives it a go and puts it over the bar.
Just that patient build-up of slow passes in between the midfield and front line. Buys time for the outside backs like Cucurella to get forward. And as you get forward, they start to push that back line further back. So even though there's no space in behind, there is gaps of space up front of that back line that midfield is trying to take advantage of. Barcelona is more dangerous so when they get it on the flanks and try to overload it, especially on that right-hand side in those first 10 minutes.
Roberto with room. Vidal takes it into the 18. Vidal pulls it back. First attempt blocked away, continues on and puts this ball wide of goal. So the Barcelona subs warming up. We expect to see many of them as the evening continues, including Balou, who was front and center in that group, the former Montreal Impact striker, now playing for Barcelona B. As we get a look at Ernesto Valverde, Di Francesco matching wits once again as they did the European stage in the spring. This ball takes a deflection. El Shaarawy can't latch on to this. It'll go for a corner, second of the game. Of more concern here for Barcelona is the goalkeeper Silesen.
El Shaarawy both going in for it. Silesen. And it's his head impacting with his defender. A little slow to get up. Smart to check on him. But need to keep an eye and watch that.
'14 World Cup. It was Silesen who started every game for the Dutch in that competition. Here's the ensuing corner taken by Roma. 1 minute of stoppage time has been posted by the fourth official. Maybe the final act of the opening half. That ball drilled, defended away by Vidal. Alexis Vidal follows up this ball, deflected away. Roma perhaps with one last chance on a throw-in. Taken back by Silesen. And this should do it for the opening half. Sergio Roberto, but the whistle blows. Barcelona took the early lead on the goal by Rafinha. Answering back, El Shaarawy for AS Roma tonight. 1-1 at the half. We'll